All right, everyone. Joe Manchin is being forced out of the Democratic Party, mainly because he worked with Joe Biden, actually. He assured people for several months in his constituency, West Virginia is not exactly a blue state, assured them that he was against the massive spending of the Biden administration. He managed to clear a few pages of very minor pork out of the bill and then promptly voted for it. His approval cratered, and now he's outgoing. He's not going to be in Congress anymore. But Manchin decided on his way out that he was going to backstab the backstabbers, so to speak. And it's quite clear he's like, fuck it. My career is basically over. This is because I worked with the neoliberals in the party. What can I do about this? Oh, that's right. I'm going to roll and smoke them like a joint on the way out. He decided to attack specifically the far left, and he's right to do so, by the way. Manchin is fundamentally correct. The far left has become a drag on the Democratic Party. We just saw the result of that in the last election. He targets them and says, look, the party's brand has become toxic. It's no longer focusing on kitchen table issues. It's focusing on id poll minutia, and it's clearly not working. By the way, strategically speaking, he's right on another level. The Geek Squad is being creamed right now, and Democrats have gotten tired of them because, again, they've become dead weight on the party, and you have to win elections in order to make more money, and that's basically the point of modern politics, etc., etc., etc. Manchin just lambasting the party and saying, look, your acceptance of this left-wing sort of thing is why you're losing. He is fundamentally correct. The funny part is that the neoliberals might not still get it. They just don't understand. If their statements post-Harris humiliating loss are any indicator, they're currently gearing up to potentially field her again in 2028, where she will lose if she is the nominee. There is no doubt in my mind that she'd lose. I just predicted up front if she becomes nominee. She's going to lose the election unless her opponent happens to have a goddamn stroke on a live stage or something. They appear not to have learned their lesson. They're prepping to field her. They're still talking well about the Geek Squad. You've got infighting between like Pelosi and AOC and other people within the party. You're even more disorganized than Republicans. Normally the Republicans are the disorganized party. They're the ones that infight, they manage to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, etc., etc. They're the ones that can't get along with each other, can't coordinate anything, and for a long time they were the tech illiterate party. This has completely changed over the last couple of years. The Democrats are now the disorganized party, with a lot of infighting and apparently a dearth of technological knowledge, which is considerably reduced. This is true. And Manchin's an old man, he's in his fucking 70s, he gets it. But somehow the rest of the Democrats didn't get the memo, including some of the younger ones. The leftoid Democrats seem to think that the fact that their congressional districts are far left and so they can get effortlessly reelected means that it translates well to a national stage. This is also the case to an effect for Harris. She's from California. The fact that you're from a far blue state, which is like 60% partisan Democrats, does not mean that you're going to appeal to voters in Iowa or in Florida or certainly like in Texas or even Pennsylvania, the Rust Belt states, stuff like that. It doesn't translate well to a federal level election. So you can pick off local seats, you'll have, some clout in Congress, but beyond that, you get crushed. And this has been happening now for several years. The Democrats magically didn't even manage to make inroads in the House of Representatives. Traditionally speaking, you would expect them to have done so. But they didn't. They didn't make any inroads. I saw so much analysis during the last election about political history, and I laughed at virtually all of it. Look at Lichtman, for example. He's basically out of a job. Look at Ann Seltzer. It was laughable. Well, according to the last century of U.S. history, Trump can't possibly win. Well, he won. He also won the popular vote, which is uncommon for the Republican to do. I think the last time that happened wasn't it the 2000 election or something like that? It was like 20 friggin' years ago or something or 2004. I can't even remember. I mean, I don't even know if I was in college at the time that happened. I wouldn't have been. I would have been in high school. Or possibly middle school. Again, I can't remember which election it was. The Democrats typically have had the popularity. It's the demographics state by state that has hindered them. In this case, though, their party hindered itself inexplicably because they never had a really solid message. And that trickled down as damage to the Senate. They lost control of the Senate. The Republicans now have 53 seats there. They did not maintain control of the House. Effectively, that remained unchanged. They didn't make any significant gains on the state level in most states. They got crushed, really, more than anything else. And it wasn't just Kamala Harris, although that was the linchpin of one of the major reasons why they got fucked in the ass. It was the Democrats in general. Manchin is trying to remind them of this. He's one of the he's like a Mara Democrat. Now, this does not mean that I like him or his ideology. He's also a bit of a moralist on the religious side, so I'm not in favor of that either. If anything, that's more of a blot on his character than even the average Democrat would have. But he is fundamentally right. He may be a broken clock, but he's trying to warn them. They're going to go into the midterms, and I have a feeling that the Republicans are absolutely going to cripple them in the midterms, which again will be historically abnormal. Normally the in party is going to lose seats. I don't think that's going to happen this time around. If everything that I see is any indicator with Trump's better hirings, his diplomatic proposals, his tax proposals, the stabilization of the economy, which is kind of sort of happening but will be much better with the heavy deregulation Trump has in mind and other programs that he has on the table, Doge and stuff like that. If it's any indicator of where the administration is going, I think that the Democrats are going to lose badly in the midterms. Manchin is going to tut-tut and shake his finger at them and say, look, I told you so. And so will Bill Maher and a handful of Jimmy Dore and a handful of other people who at the very least resemble sane individuals at least sometimes. This is more than we can say for like Pelosi or say Chuck Schumer or certainly the Geek Squad. That's about all. Peace out.